mic on. All right, guys. Here we are. Another episode of Coral Living. Say hi.
Hello.
This is Justin, my brother. He's joining me again. Maybe we'll make a thing out of this. So tonight we were talking a bit before we got started here. We were talking about wizards, and by wizards I mean gurus and spiritual leaders. And the reason we're talking about it is because if you're getting into meditation, if you're doing any of that stuff, you are going to run across these guys because you're probably going to want to know tips and tricks and all this stuff. And you're going to see a whole array of these guys. From my view, from my point, I try to get a broad perspective. I'll hunt down lots of guys to try and get an idea of what they're thinking, or if there's new techniques or certain things to learn. I'll try to watch a lot of people rather than just settling in on one guy to see what he thinks. I don't know. What about you? What do you do?
Yep. What does the Bible say? A wise man seeks many wise counsel, or something like that. I don't know. There's some verse about having lots of teachers, and I don't know. For what it's worth, I think that's pretty true. I think it's true that because it's obviously you get more perspective, you get different viewpoints to pull from, and you reduce your chances of, being myopic and dogmatic. Sure, yeah. Have lots of teachers.
Yeah. And there's a wide range. What about the swindlers out there? That's what people get worried about when I think they get into spirituality. They're worried about being duped and swindled, and getting caught up in something that is cultish and looks weird. What would you say? What's the number one red flag on getting duped by these guys?
Well, that depends on where my head's at. Because you're going to have blind spots depending on your mood. You're going to have blind spots depending on what you've got, what you're inclined to believe at the time, what you're into. You have to always be examining yourself to see what is distasteful to you and what seems appealing to you, what kind of perks your ears up, because that might cloud some kind of trick they're doing. Like, think about all these people that buy into prosperity preaching.
Yeah.
They see these guys as a way out. If they send them money, they're going to be blessed by God. Now, that's a pretty, I don't know. I think that's
the money one is usually like the money right off the bat. If it's all centered around money and stuff like that, that usually, I don't know, for me tends to be a turn off. I'm not against some forms. I don't know. Like you said, I guess it depends on the mood you're in. You have
to check with yourself.
Yeah. And weigh it. Some people might be okay with giving guys money for certain things like that, and that's fine if you feel comfortable and you're not breaking the bank, I guess.
If you want to have someone in charge and somebody to look up, you should probably be a little more independent. If you're against authority, then you probably need to be a little more humble. You just have to watch where you're blinding yourself. If it's not like there aren't people that maybe money's not even their interest, but they want eyeballs on them. They want attention or something like that. You have to see where they're congruent and when they're incongruent in what they talk about versus how they behave. You have to decide that for yourself, and then if you've got a brain in your head, you'll start to notice that it doesn't matter how holy somebody says they are. If you're looking at them through eyes that understand what it is to be a flawed human, you have to notice that they're human and that they've got flaws like everybody else, and weaknesses like everybody else, and ailments like everybody else.
Yep.
They're not transcending in every obvious way. So judge from there. And then add that to the jambalaya and see what comes out. See what
Yeah.
you end up believing after all that.
One of the things that could probably hinder this is, especially if you watch a lot of these guys on YouTube and stuff like that, even if you're watching us, we have, all of us have ugly sides to ourselves, and you might not look up to someone so much if you could see their day-to-day interactions. It could probably be hilarious.
Yeah. Like, there's no picture of Osho taking a dump.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Nobody sees that.
Yelling at your kids at night, go to sleep!
Yeah. Or like getting the flu or anything, like
Yeah.
getting angry, getting frustrated, like. And some of these people make some pretty radical claims. When you claim that you have awoken and you've transcended your ego, I don't know if anybody said those exact words, but if they were to, but then you see them doing something very petty or something, then what are you supposed to think?
Yeah.
You have to acknowledge that.
And I like, we were talking about this earlier, you were watching a debate between, what was the guy? Who was
Deepak Chopra and Richard Dawkins.
Not that you need to be watching debates or anything, but I like, even though I do meditation, I find spirituality fascinating and stuff like that, I still actually want to hear the other side. I want to hear the scientific side, the complete rational side. I want to see the side that doesn't agree with what I'm saying.
Well, you should listen to the science side first, because you can actually understand the science side. A lot of the claims being made from hardcore spiritualists, like one of the many array of things that is said is like, you can't explain this in words, or this must be experienced, not believed. That's going to be a stretch for you, so you might as well get a damn good foundation in science and reality.
Yeah.
And I would think that would come first. You're kind of putting the cart before the horse, but everybody's different. I'm not even naturally that way.
Well, it might not depend where you come from. Western traditions tend to be already, marinated in the materialist paradigm of looking at things. There are still some, depending, I guess, on where you live. If you're in the southern states, if you're in the Bible Belt or something like that, it might be a little bit different.
Handling snakes and
Yeah.
shaking.
But I would say for, most westernized countries are pretty scientific and materialistic. They get pretty much indoctrinated with that in the education system from the beginning. Most educational institutions have gotten rid of spirituality, although they're starting to bring a little bit of it back. Even our kids go to a Catholic school and they do meditation.
Meditation, yeah.
So
it actually sucks because of this whole COVID thing. They haven't been getting their meditation time.
yeah,
It's a downer.
yeah, yep. So
Although I doubt the ADD kids are really even meditating. Probably just counting in their head.
Yeah. How do you teach those kids? Someone needs to make a book on that. How to, teach kids with attention deficit disorders how to meditate and stuff like that. But is there anything else you'd like to say about teachers or anything like that?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, so we'll get to our meditation. We'll get down, do it. We'll hit the mats, and so we're gonna do 20 minutes. And I hope you join us, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap things up. All right, so I'm going to turn on the music, and we'll get going. did it.
I'm enlightened.
All right, did it. I gotta pause that on there. All right, a little bit of an echo chamber going on there. You can't see it. There you go. All right. Okay, so normally after the meditation, I usually do some type of like a scriptural reading of, you know, any type of spiritual practice or religion or whatever like that. But tonight I got to do something different. Tonight I want to talk about Jainism, but I couldn't find any scriptures that I could read and understand. So I watched some videos on Jainism, and there was a really good one, and I thought for Jainism I would show you this. This is like their main symbol right here. I don't think that the letters down there you're going to be able to read, but I got some notes on here that I took about Jainism, so I just thought I'd talk a little bit about Jainism.
This is secretly what this channel's been about the whole time. What the hell?
But
you're a cult leader.
It's a cult symbol. The Jainism comes out of India. It runs alongside Hinduism and Buddhism. They have monks and everything. They meditate. But apparently Jainism is supposed to be one of the most peaceful, if not the most peaceful, of all the religions. And I thought I'd just point out some of their symbols on here so you could get a good understanding of it. This one here, this one with the hand, is ahimsa, which means non-violence, and they're huge on non-violence. So much so that when they become monks, they walk around with brooms, and they will literally sweep in front of them so they don't step on any microbes or bugs or anything. A lot of the monks and stuff will wear face masks so that anything that they breathe on, they couldn't hurt it or kill it. Yeah, seems crazy. It comes from, it stems out of India around 600 to 400 BC, and their whole thing is about detaching from this reality, detaching from all materialism and violence, all the things that this world has to offer. It's about detaching yourself from that, so that you don't bring any bad karma on yourself. Because if you bring bad karma on yourself, you're going to have to redo life again. Depending on how much bad karma you bring on you, it's going to deposit you. But you can even have good karma. You can actually reincarnate into a god form. And so what I'll show you on this symbol here, this top half here represents like the heavenly realm. The middle like a belt line here represents earth, and then this triangle figure below here, that represents like 7 stages of hell. And depending on how bad you are in this life, you'll have to burn all the bad karma out of you before you can reincarnate back to earth and try all over again.
I think you should address the Nazi-shaped elephant in the room.
The Nazi-shaped thing. So this is before Nazi Germany, way before Nazi Germany, but it represents the 4 stages of rebirth. So you've got the 4 sides there, so you can come back as a plant or an animal.
The Nazis stole that symbol, right?
Yes, I'm pretty sure they did. Seeing as it was light years ahead of Nazi Germany. So you can be reborn as a plant or an animal, a human, a hell being. So I don't know if that means like a demon or something that has to live in hell for a while. Or you can even be reborn as a god in the god realm. But you still haven't transcended into infinite bliss. The only way to transcend into infinite bliss is which represents the highest, this top dot here. To get into that state, you have to get rid of all karma altogether. So some of these hardcore monks and stuff, there's 2 sects. There's one sect that doesn't even wear clothes, they don't eat any type of meat or anything, not even certain vegetables. They're like super vegans. And so if they are able to get rid of all their karma and transcend into infinite bliss, that's where they will stay for the remainder of eternity in infinite bliss. Also, so there's 3 dots below the infinite bliss. They're big on faith, knowledge, and behavior. And the little saying at the bottom, the little saying there is, all life is bound together by mutual support and interdependence. So that's a little something about Jainism. I mentioned that there was 2 sects. There's the sect that doesn't wear any clothes, and they believe that if you're born into this life, even as a woman, because you're not allowed to not wear clothes if you're a woman, you won't be able to transcend to infinite bliss unless you're at least a man. Oh, so yeah,
that's harsh.
Oh, woo! So out of touch with the times.
Do you buy any of them?
Not really, but it seems like...
Boy, will my face be red if at the end of the video game of life, they're like, back to the start.
Reincarnate as an ant or a plant.
You're being demoted down to female.
What if you get demoted to hell being? You have to be a hell being and go through 7 stages of hell, not just 1, 7.
What a kooky universe that would be.
Yep.
If any of that was true. Why did you show that?
What? So because I usually do at the end of my thing, I read some type of a scripture from religious readings just for, to get, a little
cover
bit out
all
there.
The bases. Hey,
Throw
Jainism.
It's something. Hey, it's supposed. That's like Gandhi was big into Jainism, I think. And it's
so is Bare Naked Ladies.
Supposed to be one of the most peaceful religions on earth. And apparently they donate a crap ton.
Yeah, they seem like obsessive compulsive about their not wanting to hurt anything thing.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But anyway, so that brings us to the end here. I want to thank everyone for watching.
We need outro music.
But
goodbye. It was fun.
Remember, we do this, or I at least do it. He can come join me anytime he wants. But I do this every Thursday night, 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If you miss an episode or something like that, you can watch it either here on Twitch in my highlights, or you can watch it on YouTube where I post everything that I put there. Remember to do the sits. If you're new to meditation, I always throw out the 30-day challenge. At least try to do 30 days of 20 minutes a day and see if you notice any benefits in your life or anything going on there.
Can I ask you a question before we're done?
Yeah.
So you've been meditating for a while now. I was doing it for a while. I've been out of practice. I can't sit with my legs crossed like that. What's some specific benefits that you found from doing this? You've probably already talked about it on this channel.
I have. Well, I've talked about it. Some things I would say, just overall basic, like your practical, like I've built some good habits. It's helped me break some bad habits. I feel like it's given me greater focus and helped me. Even when I'm not purely meditating, if it's just contemplation or stuff like that, where you wrestle in between your thoughts and stuff like that, it's helped me get a better perspective on my life and my thoughts, and it's brought focus and awareness to things in my life that I was not aware of before. I feel like it's given me more empathy in my life, whether it's with my kids or my wife or people that I know.
Wow, all that, huh?
There's I would say some bad habits I've been able to curb completely. Other bad habits it's brought down. But I would also say though there's kind of like there's an up and down period. I find some things like my diet would be one where I really clean up my diet, and it's like I feel like, oh yeah, it's working, and then there's like backlash almost, and it like comes back and I start eating shitty again, and then I go back to eating good again. And I don't know what's going on with that part of my life, but yeah, some things.
I had two thoughts when I was doing it because it's so uncomfortable to me to even bend my legs that much. I was like, some guy was just pretzeled himself one day, and everybody was like, let's listen to him. And that's how it got started. And then I thought, no, this is actually a pretty good way to build tolerance of like boredom, uncomfortableness. Like once you learn how to relax into, and because if you're new to meditating, your mind is almost going to be in a panic when you try to just sit still. You're like, that's what I found anyway, is that there's like a panic feeling in you because you almost feel claustrophobic in your own self.
I recommend if you're new, don't even try to sit in a pretzel format. I laid on a floor for 8 months before I got enough.
Crisscross applesauce. That's what I mean. It's like crossing legs is hard on my knees and hurts my ankles.
Yes, it still hurts me, and I know that like if you watch some of these guys who can do like these full lotus poses. I did an episode on that on Padmasana or whatever it's called. A lotus position, and it's like I actually like when I sit and I read, I sit cross-legged, and like just to try and like break it in, you know, to see if there's any value. But a lot of these guys, they put big emphasis on like your spine being straight, and like they say like they like
so damn uncomfortable.
I know.
It seems like a lot of attention going to, like it almost like if when I'm not here doing it, I just sit. I just sit still, and then I'm not distracted by any pains, and I can kind of clear my mind. For me, you listed a whole bunch of stuff that was beneficial to you. One of the things I found fascinating is when I started looking at observing my thoughts as they appeared like autonomous. They appeared like they were just like I was not directing my thoughts. I could almost observe my mind activity from like a third person view or something. That's the best I can explain it.
It's weird. I go in and out of that. It's so hard to keep focus. I know my objectives. I know like when I'm meditating to try and disassociate myself with the thoughts, see it as a traffic system going in front of me, and me, the observer, seeing and just being the observer. And it is so easy to get tied to your thoughts. And I really believe I'm starting to think like even if you were doing like 30 or 40 minutes a day, until you start getting up there with your times, I think it's I would really like to go away maybe on like a weekend or something. That's like my next big step for me would be like take a weekend and try and do it for like a day or two and see what type of growth, because apparently you can get exponential growth in your meditation if you spend like big chunks of time doing it. You can get a lot of growth there. So that's like the next step for me, because I feel like I've almost reached the limit with like, I was doing 20 minutes a day. I'm now bumped it up to 30.
Do an hour a day.
Yeah.
Do an hour a day.
But
I think the most I was doing was
I don't want to move I'm worried about trying to do too much and then pulling away from it. I've been just doing it gradually. I like whenever I try to instill a new habit, I like to like micro it, make it super small, and then exponentially grow it. And I found success with that, so that's what I'm trying to do. But
all right.
Anyway, we've gone kind of long tonight. We should probably wrap her.
Stay spiritual.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next Thursday.